If you've ever found yourself over-explaining or second-guessing yourself all because of someone else's opinion, then this episode is for you. So imagine you just heard the best news of your life. You are getting a promotion. Your YouTube channel just got monetized. You're pregnant. Your best friend is moving into the same city as you. And you share this news with someone and they respond with a half-hearted, "Oh yeah, that's cool." Suddenly you find yourself questioning, is this even a big deal? Did I eat or no? And that is what happens when we seek validation from the wrong people. By the end of this episode, you are going to know the 5 people that you need to stop seeking validation from and how to find that validation from within yourself. If you're new here, my name is Quenisha and this is my podcast, Be a Better Baddie, where each episode is tailored to help you become a more balanced, authentic, driven, deserving, iconic, and evolving version of yourself. And if you are a returning baddie, welcome back. I'm happy you're back. Now, I want you to know this. Seeking validation is normal. In fact, it is hardwired into our brains. So a couple of reasons why we seek external validation is because, one, evolution. Back in the days, we always talk about back in the cave days. If you were not a part of a tribe, a part of a group, you were in danger. So to exist on your own, you put yourself into grave danger. So yes, you wanted external validation. You wanted validation from others because you need to exist within that tribe. Now, I would argue the same is still true today because you still need a tribe to fully survive. No one can do this thing called life on their own. Now, even though we don't necessarily need validation to survive anymore, our brains still act as if we do. The second reason that we still seek external validation is because of our childhood. A lot of us were raised to please the adult figures in our life. We did this by getting good grades, behaving well, or accomplishing things. So think our teachers, our parents, elders in our family. Through that process of growing up, achieving things, being congratulated from it, we could have learned that our worth is tied to our accomplishments, external things, the way people react to us, rather than who we actually are as a person. I think this is a big one. This was definitely something I had to learn how to separate. Another reason we're seeking external validation is because of societal norms. So people are praised for how much money they have. People are praised for how many likes they get. People are praised because they are just well liked. People get praised because they're beautiful or handsome. So all of those external factors people look at, and that is one way that people measure success. The validation you get from that makes you want to constantly pursue that, and it makes you more hyper aware of all those things. Now, the last reason that many of us are seeking this external validation is because we want to appear perfect. If you are flawed, then you won't be accepted. Many of us don't want to look wrong or flawed, so we look for validation on this path. But as you know, when you want to constantly appear perfect, constantly appear as everything happens effortlessly for you, you're not going to take any risks. You don't want to seem vulnerable, and you just overall are going to just stay in this safe zone so that you know that you are externally validated. As you're listening to those 4 reasons, and just know there are more, those were just the 4 I went over, think about which one of those resonates with you. If you've ever sought external validation, which, do not lie and say you've never sought external validation. You're a liar. Now that that's out of the way, all of us have done this. All of us still do it. It's not like one day you just, nope, I'm done. Okay. It's just more so easing up how much external validation you feel like you need to actually exist. Because if you ever get to a point where it's kind of like a standstill, like, I don't know, like, what will they think? What will they think? You need to get a move on it, honey. You need to stop it. Now, I want to briefly touch on the consequences of seeking validation from the wrong people. When you seek validation from these people, whether it's you kind of performing for them and hoping they acknowledge you, or directly coming to them and asking them something, while the 5 types of people that I'm going to name are different, the impact is still the same. You are going to leave feeling one or more of these feelings. 1, you are going to feel burnout. Constantly trying to prove yourself to the wrong people is exhausting. And when you keep doing it over and over again, you just get to a point where it's just like, I don't want to do it anymore. Even if it was something you really, really wanted to do just because you didn't get that validation from another person. A second consequence of constantly seeking validation from the wrong people is stagnation. you can stop growing because of their influence. So depending on the type of person, you could just feel like, you know what? This is good. This is good enough. And while your best may be good enough, it may not actually be where you're supposed to be. And then the last thing that can happen to you when you seek validation from the wrong people is self-doubt. Having too many opinions, especially different opinions, is going to make you question yourself, make you question your abilities. So burnout, stagnation, self-doubt, we don't want to face those consequences. These are consequences that you can likely prevent if you do not seek validation from the wrong people. Now, I've been talking about these 5 wrong people, and this is where we're going to spend the bulk of our time today. The 5 wrong people to seek validation from. Also, side note, I feel like I need to like go tan. Like my chest has been hidden, but like the rest of my. Okay. So I want to name the framework that I'm going to use as I talk through these people. The first thing I'll do is name the person. Secondly, I'll name the intention that they may have. Third, I'll name the impact that they can have on you. And then finally, I'll provide you with an example so you can think about it within your real life context. Okay? So the first person that you should not be seeking validation from is the insecure one. Now, the insecure person is going to project their fears onto you, and they are going to make you question yourself. Insecure people don't intend to harm you. It is simply just a case of them projecting their own fears and their own self-doubts onto you because they think that they could probably never do those things. So they may say things like, "Are you sure you can handle that?" Or, "I don't think I can ever do that." The impact of the insecure person doing this is you're going to start second guessing yourself. Well, if she's not that strong, then am I that strong enough to do it? You may start playing it small, and we talked about playing it small. Stop being small. You need to be big. And then you may start to absorb some of those anxieties on your own. Their doubt can plant seeds of fear that can hold you back from taking risks and believing in your full potential. So, example time. Let's say you go to the insecure person and you're telling them, hey, Molly Sue, I'm thinking about starting a business. I want to do XYZ, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're just talking to your friend about your plans, about what you want to do. And instead of replying with encouragement, Molly Sue may say, that sounds risky. What if it fails? Do you have a backup plan? And then suddenly in that moment, you start questioning your own ability and your own readiness to embark on this new business. The second person that you should not seek validation from is the people pleaser. The people pleaser is going to only tell you what you want to hear and not what's real. Now, again, the intention of the people pleaser, they just want to make you happy. So instead of telling you the truth, they just tell you what you want to hear. Now, there is a balance between telling someone the truth and telling them what they want to hear. Telling someone the truth doesn't mean you need to be mean and nasty and mask it as the truth. Now, the impact of you seeking this validation from a people pleaser is that you can develop a false sense of confidence and readiness based on their misleading feedback. And when reality hits you, you are going to feel unprepared or worse, blindsided by the entire thing, whatever the situation is. So let's say I had a podcast and I asked for feedback on my podcast. And I actually did this. Like my first 2 episodes, I recorded the entire thing, edited the podcast, sent it to my friends, asked them for their feedback. If they were people pleasers, I would have been so upset, right? So the people pleaser would say, wow, this is amazing. You don't need to change anything, because they may fear hurting your feelings. Meanwhile, there are clear areas for improvement, but rather than telling you that because they'd want to upset you, they just brush over it and say, wow, it is amazing. Now, my friends that I sent my podcast to, they gave me feedback and I was like, okay. I felt that too because again, not all feedback is valid. Not all of it is, because some people are viewing projects in different ways, different lenses, different insecurities, different strengths, etc. So when I sent it to my friends, I had to be aware of what kind of friend they were. Now, they weren't one of these that I've listed, but they have different strengths. They look for different things. So I had to look through the feedback through their lens. Now, with our people pleasing friend. Seeking validation from this friend is going to cause us to keep making the same mistakes and never really gain insight from others on how to grow. Our third friend is the competitive friend. Instead of supporting you, this friend is going to turn everything into a competition. Woo! How fun. Now, these intentions are a bit negative. I love this e.l.f. lip oil. I'm gonna stick with e.l.f. They want to be seen as superior, so they may subtly or overtly try to outshine you. As girls, we all know this person in our life. That one person, you know, if they're around, oh, they're going to try to do something. Their intention could be to downplay your achievements so that they can brag about their own success. And this is not to say that the competitive person isn't successful. They very well can be. There is a time and place for everything. The impact of going to this competitive friend for validation is that instead of you feeling celebrated, you are going to feel drained and discouraged, because this person who wants to make everything a competition turns everything into comparison. Now, if this is a person where you feel like, wow, they actually have achieved a lot, or they know a lot about this particular subject and I really want their feedback on it, this could lead you to a comparison trap where you feel like, actually, I'm not good enough. Or damn, I can't do what they did. But remember, someone who's competing with you sees competition in you. So you need to see that in yourself. Now, it's not necessarily, I'm going to compete back with you. It is it's a subtle, they see something that is threatening to them, but I don't see that in myself. I need to look into myself and figure out what it is, because if they see me as a threat, I need to be out here threatening people. Not like that. Not like that. Now, my example for this is, let's say I land a big collaboration on my podcast. Such and such wants to sponsor an episode. Go to my friend. I'm like, girl, guess who emailed me and say they want to collaborate, blah, 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 right? I'm talking about it. And in this moment, I obviously want my friend to be like, hey, that's great. Oh, this is so good. Maybe they can give me some advice, right? Especially if they are in a similar field. But instead, the competitive friend would say, oh, I landed a collaboration with someone even bigger and they're paying me this much. And it's even just completely overshadowing everything that you came to share, not even acknowledging. Now you're kind of like, again, did I eat or nah? Like, what's up? Like, why would my friend react that way? So, competitive friend, not the one to go and seek validation from. The fourth person that you do not need to seek validation from is the chronic critic. The chronic critic will always find something wrong, and they will never offer any sense of encouragement throughout the process. I alluded to the chronic critic earlier about the person who kind of masks being mean as the truth. Whether they realize it or not, the chronic critic gets a sense of control or superiority by pointing out your flaws. So this is the person that could always, no matter what, they are going to point out your flaws. They are going to talk about a situation where you messed up something or you were at a low point in your life. This person may believe that they are helping you by being brutally honest, and they rarely balance criticism with encouragement, right? So, yeah, you did this in the past. Maybe you could do this next time, or did you think about this? Instead, it is just, I love these feathers. But they rarely balance criticism with encouragement. They haven't found that balance yet. The impact of seeking validation from the chronic critic is that their negativity can kill your confidence. Even when you do well, you'll feel like it's not enough. You'll always be focusing on what you did wrong rather than what you did right. And you'll start focusing on your imperfections rather than the progress that you've made. Now, our example, let's say you share this project that you've been working on with a chronic critic. And the first thing that they acknowledge is everything that's wrong. The layout's wrong. The background information is wrong. Your messaging isn't that strong. Just really nitpicking everything. No words of encouragement, no ways to improve, and ultimately leaving you discouraged. Now, I definitely identify with the chronic critic. As I got older, I saw that this is who I was when I was younger. I would think about the complaints I would get from friends, and I was like, damn, you were critical. For what? For what? It was me being judgmental. If my friends in college were hooking up with guys, I was like, ew. Like, value yourself, do better. And granted, I still feel that way. I don't feel like I was able to communicate that message in a more loving way, in a more effective manner. Instead, when I communicated this to my friends, I made them feel judged. I made them feel like they were less than me. So, Miss Chronic Critic is out the door. I definitely understand this one. And then the final person that we are not seeking validation from is the jealous one. I I still struggle with identifying jealous people, and it's not that I intellectually struggle with it, I emotionally struggle with it. I know the signs of a jealous person in my life, but I just can't phantom that they would still want to be around me, still pursue me, or want to reach out to me and be jealous. My heart cannot handle that. But when I interact with these people, my brain is very full aware that this is happening. Now, the jealous person is going to downplay your success and undermine you in any way possible. And that is because they feel threatened by you. The jealous person and the competitive person, they are side by side. They're side by side. They could overlap, but they don't necessarily need to overlap. The intention of the jealous person is they feel threatened by your success and they may try to bring you down, whether it's covertly or overtly. Instead of celebrating you, they are going to find ways to minimize you and make you feel undeserving of these things that you may be achieving or pursuing. Now, the impact of you seeking this validation from the jealous friend is that you may start shrinking yourself to make them feel more comfortable when they're around you. You may even feel guilty about your success, questioning whether or not you're worthy of it. This has been a feeling that I have felt with people in my life. When I'm around them, I'm like, I don't really know what I can share with you because you don't want to offend them, maybe, or you don't want to have to explain how you got there. It's kind of like, I did work hard for this. I did get this. And having jealous people in your life will make you feel like you don't deserve that. Why do you get that and I don't? You know, that type of feeling? Tell me in the comments below if you've ever experienced being around jealous people or sharing your accomplishments with jealous people. So an example of this, let's say you hit a milestone. Let's say you got a promotion at work. Jealous words would sound like, well, a lot of people do that. It's not really a big deal. Hearing these words are going to plant doubt in your mind and make you feel like it's actually not worth celebrating your accomplishments. But I want you to think about this before I leave this section alone. Did they accomplish it? Now I want to talk about 2 things that you can do instead of seeking external validation from these wrong people. You need to identify who these people are in your life and think about the news that you do bring to them, or think about the things that you do share with them. And I know we all want to live in this perfect world where we can share everything with everyone and no one has any ulterior motives, but that's just not the reality. That's just not the reality. And you just got to learn that. You just have to learn that. The first thing that you can do is to recognize when you are seeking validation versus you being genuinely curious. Now, I want you to think about you posting 2 pictures on Instagram right now. Both of them are beautiful. Both of them are beautiful pictures. But one of them you really, really, really love the most. So you post it on your story and you're like, vote, guys, which one? You're seeking validation because you already know which one is beautiful. Now you want other people to vote which one is the best picture. Or it's even not, it's probably not even both pictures are beautiful. One picture can be extremely beautiful and one is just meh. You put it on Instagram and say, hey guys, vote A or B. You already know A is beautiful. You know in your head, but you want validation from other people to say it is beautiful. Versus, the lighting is different in this picture versus this picture. If you're thinking about that and you're genuinely curious, hey guys, which lighting looks better? Because both of them look good. You're just not sure. It's just a mind shift thing. So think about when you actually are looking for validation from people versus when you actually are genuine. You've done the comparison in your head. You've ran the analysis of whatever sort. Now you're actually just genuinely curious. Then that leads to the second thing that you can do. Learn to validate yourself through self-awareness and self-trust. Develop a stronger sense of yourself. Who are you? What do you like? What do you value? What do you dislike? What do you believe in? What are your standards? Now, you may already know all of these things, and if you are seeking validation from others within those categories, then maybe you need to take some more time to develop that. Now, I know that this one is very broad, and you're just like, okay, Quenisha, well, how do I do it? Right now, I can tell you that one thing that you can use to help you is the Baddie assessment. So if you don't know about the Baddie assessment, on my website, it is a 20 to 25-ish question assessment. And we talked about the Baddie pillars before. Baddie stands for Baddie. Baddie stands for balanced, authentic, driven, deserving, and iconic. You will be asked a series of questions where you will, in the end, get personalized results and tell you which pillar is your strength and which pillar you need to work on with some actionable steps. That's somewhere good to start. So if you take the assessment and you're like, okay, I am great at being iconic. I have this strong sense of my style, this strong sense of self. I don't mind being unique, but one thing I need to work on is being balanced. That's a starting point for you. So you already kind of can create a plan based on the feedback that I give you in the quiz. It's a free quiz, by the way. It's free. So if you want to take that, just go to the link in my description box. I think it's beabetterbaddie.com/baddie assessment, but just go ahead and click the link in the description box. Now we are moving into our closing thoughts. I hope that you had a great time today, and I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever found yourself seeking validation from the wrong person, and how did that affect you? Comment below and tell me. I want to start talking to you guys in the comments. So a few closing thoughts. The goal is for you to live your life in a way that satisfies you and you feel in control and not a care about what others think about you. At the end of the day, the only validation that you need is truly your own. No one else should get to decide your worth, your success, or your path. All of that is up to you. This week, I want you to catch yourself and I want you to say, okay, wait, am I seeking validation or am I genuinely curious? Like learning how to separate those two, and you can see how many times you are seeking unnecessary validation. That is going to put things into perspective for you. So am I seeking approval or do I already know the answer? Sometimes you already know the answer. You just need to move forward. You just need to do. And then sometimes you're like, ooh, let me just make sure. And again, if you end up asking the wrong person, it is going to completely alter the path that you were supposed to be on. So sometimes you are seeking approval. Sometimes you know the answer. If you know the answer, go forth. Go forth, sis. And then once you start validating yourself, you are going to see your confidence shoot through the roof. I've been talking a lot about confidence, and really, when you are confident, you are unstoppable. And I want all of that for you. People are going to say, you change, you act different. Yeah. I'm sorry. But really, when you don't need validation from people, you move in a different way. And I want that for every baddie, not everybody, every baddie watching this right now. So I am going to leave you there. Leave your comments below. Let's talk in the comments. I want to start talking to y'all. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like if you like this video. Share it with somebody that you think needs to hear it. And I will see you later in the next one. Until then, I hope you have a positively productive, self-loving day. Bye.